gets back on here.
I'm thinking maybe we ought to get your YouTube channel up on the other computer.
I'm back. How about you, Henry? See, I was literally not touching anything this time. I'm looking. None of the wires are even where my feet could have touched them.
I'm thinking maybe it's something to do with exiting out and using the translator program. Maybe there's a software glitch somewhere.
Hmm. Eva was saying maybe when I'm switching tabs or something, it's causing problems. I don't know. Let's let people get back on. How annoying.
Because I think the same thing happened the last time we had this issue. You had gone and done something someplace else.
Well, YouTube. Chris says YouTube is having issues on Lab Padre stuff too. Hey, Brian. Hey, Graham. Oh, what a pain. I know I didn't touch anything. Well, I agree with that, honey bunny. Uh, Static fire was freezing. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what's going with the internet. NASA is said to expect massive internet disruptions in the not too distant future
It'll last for months.
that may last for months. I'm guessing if the election isn't going the way they want, everything will be disrupted. Yep. So.
It's going to be Beetlejuice doing the supernova thing.
Ooh, the Beetlejuice supernova. Hey, CJs, how's it going? I saw you. Not at that time. I was just doing this. Nope. Sorry, I'm not. I'm not guilty. So anyway, poor Will from Somalia. He hasn't seen this before. Typical YouTube screw ups. So
well, hopefully he can find you.
Hopefully he'll be back, and then I'll continue there. So let's say we got all the other stuff working pretty well. Um, Sunday by noon or before noon. When was that when we took off on the quad?
Around noon.
Around noonish. The weather was nice. We had all our assigned tasks and one unassigned task done. And we thought we'd go out and start checking claim stakes. So I fueled up the quad, topped it off and everything, and we took off. And we got down to a certain point, and where we had to turn left to go check the claim stakes, or right and go check out some other stuff that we were just kind of curious about. So we turned right. And we figured we'd worked pretty hard, for 2 days, and deserve a little, you know, fun time. So we turned right. It's beautiful weather, uh, very comfortable on the quad, not cold, not hot. Going exploring a bit. If I'd thought to strap down a spare gas can, we would have gone more.
Yeah, we have that other road to check out.
Because the road was going further than I expected it to. And by the way, we can look at that on Google Earth and see where it goes to also. But
we started to do that last night.
Yeah, well, I was checking on that other patch. Um, so we went out to where I thought, well, we better turn back to make sure we don't run out of fuel here. And we weren't seeing much in the way of mining out there. We could clearly see where there'd been a lot of forestry, where they had cut down trees and then shredded the slash and stuff like that. That was pretty obvious. So we came back, and Eva's got vastly better eyes than I do. And she spotted something. She goes, "Is that a claim stake over there?" And I'm like, "I don't know. We got binoculars." And it's like, well, it could be a claim stake. And there's another one over there.
Which leads to the question, why are they always square?
And then So it might have been a working there that we thought, well, we'll go check that out, when we get another time. By the way, first of all, Honey Bunny, uh, movie reference. I want my hamburger rare. And the guy says, it'll be so rare a good vet will have it on his feet in no time. By the way, Eva wants to know, why are claim stakes always square? My answer is, I don't think they always are. It's just, if you want something 4 inches across, generally that's going to be square nowadays.
Well,
Back in,
every rule I've seen on the issue,
it has to be at least 4 by 4 inches. A round pole 4 inches in diameter is also 4 by 4. I don't recall it ever saying it has to be square. Do you recall that?
does somebody else ask? Does somebody else have any idea why the stakes used for fencing on the range are always round?
Then she says, why are the stakes used for fencing round? I don't know. Because stakes used for fencing are often just tree branches. Not sure. But anyhow, um, so on our way back, we also spotted a red patch of dirt that we thought was interesting. And Chris says some fence posts are quite square, actually. And
I haven't seen any on the range.
so we thought it was basically just where the road had kind of made a little bit of a side hill cut, but it looked interesting. So we stopped and got out and looked, and it's like, yeah, but it's not just the road. A dozer was on top here and made a scraping cut a while back, a long time ago. And we looked, started wandering around. It's like, oh, look, there's another one. So we found like 4 patches in about 300 yards.
And an old push.
That, areas that have been scraped by a bulldozer. Didn't measure the width, but it was a pretty good sized blade on that thing, whatever it was. I'm saying, D8 size, something like that at least. But it had been done a long time ago. It could have been as early as the road work that was done to the mines that we were, that we're at Montana B. And they were pushing the road through, or pushing a road through or whatever, hit red patch, and then decided to go scrape a few spots. But anyhow, so we took some samples and brought them back. We'll be sending them off to the lab. And if they come back with anything interesting, it's like, okay, stake a claim now. So let's say we got something interesting there also. So I consider it a very, very busy weekend.
Calendar real quick.
And so let's say we had a good weekend. What? Where?
I'm going to grab the calendar real quick.
Okay.
Ryan has given me a time frame.
An itinerary. So let's see, resume, full load, quick, yeah. Now this, looking at the satellite photography and stuff, this red zone continues the trend of a water course when, as it comes out of the ridges and stuff, it diverges to the side. But if you just extend that line, this is where the red zone is. So I'm not sure how many people are familiar with the basic principles. When you get a mineralized zone placed in the rock, it's going to do one of two things. It's either going to strengthen the rock or weaken the rock in general. If it's got a lot of silica in it, a lot of hard minerals like that, and it injects into most normal country rock, it's going to tend to make a stronger rock, and you'll tend to have an outcrop. You'll tend to have it sticking up from the rest of the area. On the other hand, if you have a zone where you have like a fault line that's broken up the rock, and then you had solutions put in a bunch of minerals that weather, for example, iron pyrite turning to iron oxide and maybe a red soil, the soil there will be more easily eroded, and you'll tend to get a water course. So you always want to look at water courses and ridge lines to see, anything unusual there. Now, David, a dike is a different sort of thing. A dike is specifically a magma intrusion. And so we deal with veins because they're in place by hydrothermal solutions. Dikes are actually liquid magma that then solidifies in the rock. They can look very similar, but yeah, it's a crack that fills. And both of them are cracks that are filled. So we're quite curious as to what's going on. I'll get the samples from the decline and from the red patches prepped and bagged, and we can ship them off Wednesday morning. Everything's out there at the ranch. Well, not everything is at the ranch. Oh, that's right. Oh, I forgot. Here's some of the red soil. Now, to me, looking at this at a finer scale, see, this is not a clay particle. Those are rock particles there. That was a clay particle, But you have a lot of broken rock that's kind of covered with this red clay. And so, magnetic, an excellent question. Doubtful, but it's easy to test. Oh, it's been a busy day today. Hi, Patrick. How's it going? A couple of black magnetics sticking to the magnet right there. Let's see if those are just physically adhered. Well, again, there's kind of a black. Oh, what is that? It looks like, for all the world, like an N. Let's try this again. An interesting experiment. There's another magnetic. Take a look at this little one. That's metallic.
Oh, let me see.
Right there. This actually looks more metallic than magnetite. It doesn't look crystalline. So, anyhow, we need to send these off for analysis or for assay.
Very interesting.
But this zone is wider than a dozer blade. And it's hundreds of yards long. I don't know how much wider than a dozer blade. I would not be surprised if it's like 30 or 40 feet across.
Honey Bunny says she's got something.
What, where? They're not, these are not spheres. Not coming off the blade, is it? Okay, Chris. It looks like metallic shavings, but the material there is way too soft. I mean, literally, I was just taking a mattock and going chunk and pulling up. Say it's like soil in many ways. It's got a lot of angular rocks in it, which is why I think what it is a decomposing bedrock that feels like a rock right there, for example. Let's see. Okay, here we have a rock. It's pretty angular. Doesn't look yes, I don't think that the cutting edge on a blade would be abraded by this. And it's too small for that right now, Honey Bunny. This, on the other hand.
And also the bedrock in that area is not the kind of stuff, it's not like the kryptonite. It's would pretty easily be destroyed by a dozer blade long before a dozer blade got destroyed by it.
See, now the surface, I just literally broke this with my fingers, and the surface again looks more to me like weathered rock. Take a look there, little one. Let's say, so I suspect, and we have a lot of work to do, I suspect this is more decomposing bedrock.
Yeah, it looks a lot like some of the stuff we have up at Montana Beach.
Yeah. So
it's got that bright red thing going on that's more the rose red, the vermilion.
Yeah, exactly. So anyhow, I'm going to be doing some panning, cleaning some of the larger class, the little rocks, and fracturing them to seeing what we look like. Yeah, that's my thought, Chris. Now, this is in an area that has known gold mines in it, and is in a zone like it might be one of the major feeder faults. Now, clearly somebody thought it was interesting looking in the past, and clearly somebody took a dozer and took a look at it. And also clearly somebody didn't mine it. It's entirely possible this is, it has gold mineralization in it, but any significant trees in the area, I wouldn't call them significant. I mean, there's, what is that, juniper?
Yeah, I'm coming over to do this one.
She's coming to do it. Anyhow, just
I'm the one who knows trees.
Just what I was saying. Let me try and finish my thought. But anyhow, if it was back then 0.05 ounces per ton, 0.1 ounces per ton, and they couldn't find anything better than that, they might very well have just left it there. Okay. But nowadays, different story. It'd also be an interesting thing to sink a drill into and see what you've got at depth. Over to Eva.
Yeah, just to give you some more info on this particular area.
Be sure you don't get many.
I'm not going to. Yeah. Tree wise, the trees that really like this red stuff are the juniper and they look like lodgepole pines if you want to get exact on a pine, but they could be loblollies. The only trees that I've seen that eat whatever this stuff is or like to grow in whatever this stuff is are those two varieties. They're old trees, but they're not horribly old. We're not talking a couple of 100 years here. We're talking maybe 50, 60 years at most. And though this was obviously done a very long time ago, we ran into one area that he called a push. I called the dump. I was looking at it. It's covered with grass. And I just spotted it as being man-made because it couldn't be anything else, judging by the shape.
Tell them what you saw growing on the surface.
That's what I'm getting to.
Okay.
On this push thing, hi guys, on this push thing, there was all the grass and all the wide range of wildflowers that we usually get in the area. And when I scuffed my feet in that, there was a whole lot of actual soil mixed in with a little bit of this red stuff. Okay. But on the red stuff itself, where a bulldozer had gone through and skinned off a layer, and we still had these big red slashes that were fully visible, almost nothing was growing on them. Yeah. They have to be decades old. And we only had the hardiest variety of ground cover, and it was a type of ground cover that's usually associated with acid soils, just like our pine trees and our junipers. So, actually, honey bunny, no, most of the most pine trees, at least up in Maine, absolutely love acid soil, just like blueberries do. And wildfires have come through there in the past. But those red slashes, the reason we saw them so easily when we got up on a little hill, not even a serious hill, just a little hill, was because almost nothing is growing on them. Despite them being decades old, almost nothing is growing on them. It is very, very strange.
I'm thinking possibly so also, Chris.
And also it should be noted that the pine trees and juniper trees that are growing on in these particular areas are a different shade. The pine trees and juniper, the pine trees and juniper bushes and other bushes that are growing in the heavily red areas are a different shade of green than their counterparts in the just pure soil that's going on there. Oh, Kodak, you're trying to sweet talk me, huh? Well, I see how you are. You can pay no attention to the bear here. He's blind as a bat anyway. He is blind as a bat. I mean, there's this claim stake or some sort of stake sitting out in the middle of the field that's only maybe 300 yards from the road, and he couldn't even see it with those binoculars. I mean, what's up with that? Yeah, I would think so, Chris. What I found the most interesting is that push area that he said was a bulldozer push, where it pushed a whole bunch of stuff up and into
just
a specific shape,
a
roll in front of a blade. That was all covered with grass, and when I scuffed it with my feet, it was mostly our local soil, which the grass grows like crazy on right now. So something's going on there. And yeah, honey bunny, they do. I love hydrangeas for that. But I'll let him come back to this. But yeah, his eyes ain't what they used to be.
That snow isn't what it used to be. What I have left. And so, anyhow, for right now, that'll be kind of confidential, and we'll be kind of tight with our information on that. And then we'll get some analysis done and go from there. That'll probably be 2 weeks from now. By having two projects, it's kind of nice by switching back and forth. By the time we're back to the same spot, we've got any assays we needed. So that's kind of nice. But say it was a really interesting trip. Yeah, that's an interesting thought, Honey Bunny. I'm also thinking of just, did I add one sugar or two? Any idea what that reference is, little one?
I think that's him talking about him sweet talking. And
no, that's Shaggy.
Yeah. Well, let me put it this way: if you're adding for me, I only eat artificial sweeteners, people.
But anyhow,
not by choice.
So that's kind of nice. And so I mean that's my priority. This week get another batch in the tank, strip another 3 cartridges, load some more cartridges, because as soon as we dump the tank, we're going to have solution that we can run through the cartridges. And then this weekend, head up to top of the hill and do some more exploration and sampling. And then next week, we'll see. We may even have enough. Shaggy says, "You're plenty sweet, just like you are, little one."
Oh, thank you.
But anyhow, so then next week, we may even have enough ore stockpiled to make another tank. But then we'll head back to Montana B while we're waiting on assays from top of the hill. And we're busy as can be. And I've got other projects too. We still got to get the RC46 fixed, for example. We got some visitors showing up around the middle of next month. We've also got Walt, and I think a couple of friends do here. Let's see, what's that? 7th through the 9th? That's a weekend, right? Let me see if he can do it during the week sometime. Let's see. Let's see. What do we got? Should get a message machine here in a minute. Wow.
This call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system. 92891009799 is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you finish recording, you may hang up.
Yes, I know I can hang up or I can press one. Hey, Walt, this is Keith. I was wondering how flexible you are in your schedule, because 7th through the 9th is right on a weekend, which are kind of prioritized right now if possible. So why don't you give me a call tomorrow sometime before noon or thereabouts, and we'll talk about it and see what's the most optimal solution to everything. Thank you. And so anyhow, that's kind of the plan here, is they switch them back and forth. Next time we're Montana B, theoretically in 2 weekends from now. Next one top of the hill. The next one is Montana B. we should actually be back down the hole mining with the new high line setup. So we shall see how that works. I'm virtually certain the distance is substantially less, as in 5 to 10 feet less, straight line distance than the old one. So we should have plenty of cable. We'll just literally have to loosen the cable clamps, shorten the cable, and tighten her back up again. But shouldn't be a problem. And we got enough room now to run 100-foot extension cord all the way down to the what do you call it? The 40-foot level. So that should last for, I'm thinking, 2 or 3 weeks before we run out there. May have to get the parts that Lauren and I fabricated over at his place last year and take them over someplace else where I got access to a welder and weld up some more ladder track. I'm not sure where Rock Butcher is this evening, John. I talked to him this morning via phone, so he was in communications. Not sure what's going on. Of course, where he's at right now, it's 9 o'clock at night or something. But well, that was. I saw Rock Butcher's video on the core shacks and everything. That is a lot of freaking core drill. And
I want them.
I'm thinking that core drilling runs like $100 a foot. When you pay someone to do it. Does anyone happen to know right off the top of their head?
That's all I'll say about the issue.
Yeah, well, fine.
I want them.
There's way too many of them. But I know that it's a lot more expensive than just like reverse circulation or whatever. But that is a pile of money sitting in those cores. My goodness. And this is the difference between us and big mines. Big mines, they can spend $2 or $3 million to roll snake eyes. We can't afford to spend $2 or $3 million, period. But that's the way they do it. They get to the point where it looks interesting and they need to punch holes, and they just start punching holes. And as long as it keeps interesting, they keep punching holes. And it can get really, really expensive, but that's how you make a big mine. So be that as it may, that's what Rock does for a living, is the field geology, getting the holes drilled and the samples prepped and all that other stuff. So anyhow, that's basically where we're at now. Again, I want to really thank Eva for being mentally tough. She scares me sometimes because she's mentally tougher than she is physically tougher, and she can push herself past where she should. And let's say I know that this is possible, so it makes me nervous. She was pushing herself pretty hard Saturday, and again, not complaining a bit, but that doesn't mean I wasn't worried about her. And once you're up on the hill, what do? You pretty much got to come back down. I don't think she'd like that very much, David. And I have to sleep sometime. David says, tie her up.
Uh-huh.
Uh
This would not go well.
huh.
I can pretty much guarantee this would not go well.
That's my suspicion. But
Some of us can be extremely patient, extremely devious, and extremely inventive.
yes. See, now you're getting me in trouble. Yeah, I would be, David. He says I'm nervous now. Yeah, not her. But anyhow, so so that's basically where we're at. The regenerated resin didn't seem to regenerate too well. The stripping circuit seems to be doing just fine. Otherwise, the Stutenroth is running well. Possibly, Chris, or something even more devious. And we're doing more exploration. Last summer was pretty much just production, and this is more exploration. So it's a little more interesting in ways. We shall see as things go on. But I don't know. I'll say it's going to be odd. Anyone got any questions or subjects or anything like that? I don't know what Eva's going to say on her tinfoil hat report, but I think there's an abundance of information that falls
Well, if you
under her
want, I
purview.
can take it off a little bit early, but that means that you may have to take your part back.
I don't know. Let's see what pops up here. Let's say I'm pretty happy with how things are going. What does the red soil smell of? Well, that's a good question. Well, I don't know if it's a good question, but it's something that's readily
I
answered.
didn't notice a particular odor. Let me stick my nose in there. You can't smell crap anyway.
Smells earthy. The goddess shall now render her opinion.
It does not smell like sulfur. It does smell very mildly like pine tar or pine sap. It's definitely decomposed rock, not dirt. Okay.
So says she.
I know what rock smells like. Okay.
Let's say so.
Rock does not smell like
Be
dirt.
that as it may. So, David says thank you. It's a perfectly legitimate question, David. I say to me, the whole situation is just looks interesting.
Well, I pointed it out to you several times.
We don't have any pH paper here, do we?
No, we don't. I pointed out to you several times that particular area.
It's Walt. Hey, Walt. By the way, I'm doing my live stream right now, so everyone can hear what I'm saying. Okay.
They can't hear what he's saying.
Oh, we're doing fine. We had a real fun weekend. Lots of stuff got done. Yep. Now that I'm back and where I got the calendar, it would be advantageous if we could either do it a little bit earlier or later, if that wouldn't be too much complication for you. What's your situation? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That would be perfect. That should work just fine. Empty. Okay. Alrighty. Looking forward to seeing you when you get here, Walt. Don't know. I can see if we can get a hold of Jim. Placer's not my specialty. I know some people here that know a lot of stuff. We could ask Lauren too. He's pretty knowledgeable around here. All righty. We'll give it a shot. All right. Thanks for calling, Walt. I appreciate it. Bye-bye.
You're getting to be like Sabine. And naturally, the telephone will ring.
And then the telephone will ring. Yeah. He was asking if there's any placer around this area, Chris. No, Graham, I've never been to Australia, although I would love to go there sometime. Eva is a bit concerned with spiders the size of dinner plates.
Yeah.
She does not
That can move 30 miles an hour.
She does not have an overwhelming fondness for spiders, to put it mildly. She believes all spiders are conspiring against her.
They all want to assassinate me. This is a known fact.
But yeah, I'd love to go to Australia someday, Graham.
And if we do go to Australia, I want roux steak with a side of ostrich egg or emu egg, if you will.
Yeah.
I want emu egg.
She wants to try kangaroo meat too.
Absolutely.
Drop bears? You mean the koalas? I hear they're pretty vicious. And of course, the crocodiles are less than pleasant to play with.
I don't care about that. The spiders are the problem. Those huntsman spiders are disgusting.
She says the huntsman spiders are disgusting. Redbacks. Okay. So that would be a drop bear as a redback spider. That just doesn't sound comforting.
That does not sound pleasant.
They would jump upon you from above.
Really?
It sounds like a predator.
Okay, we will nuke Australia from orbit first to kill the spiders. Then we'll be happy to go.
And they got box jellyfish and all kinds of other things you can play with.
Oh, wow. Gold nanoparticles help detect COVID-19.
Gold nanoparticles detect COVID-19?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's going to be on the tinfoil hat report.
Tinfoil hat report. Come to the Golden Trial. That would be, what is it, southern Queensland or, down on the tip there near Tasmania?
I want to mine opals. Can we mine opals?
She wants to go to opals. Is that Goober Petty?
Goober Petty.
Yeah, Goober Petty.
Coober Petty.
Coober Petty.
Yeah. I want opals and silver. You can keep the yellow stuff. I want opals and silver.
Is there much silver mining in Australia, Graham?
Yeah.
Victoria. Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah, there is. Silver mining in Australia.
Well, there usually is. If there's substantial gold mining, there's usually silver mining around too.
Yeah, they've got some substantial silver deposits down there.
Yeah.
A lot of it's associated with copper.
Actually, Eva wants to get either a mine somewhere here in Montana that's got both silver and gold, or maybe like two mines very close together, one with silver, one with gold. But primarily she's interested in silver mining, and she wants to have it on patented land. Up by Boulder might be a good spot. But anyhow, or Remini. But she wants it so that you could set up a camp, and you'd have your main camp building with a nice kitchen and this, that, and the other, and a few rooms for guests that want to pay for rooms, and then you have a campground for people who want to, bring their trailers or little camp trailers or this or that want to mine the ore, refine the ore, and smelt down the silver, as essentially paying tourists. And I think that would be pretty cool, but we'll have to see. We can find some. Now, there are definitely silver mines around here that have had ore like that, but one that's available is a totally different story. Like the Drumlummon, it has a 6-foot vein, but there's a zone like this or something that's running like 200 ounces to the ton silver. And that would be cool. And then if we had a free milling gold and silvers are called precious metals. And that also includes the platinum group metals. So precious metals would be gold, silver, and platinum group. Platinum, rhodium, palladium, iridium, and osmium, I believe.
Yes, osmium. Don't forget the osmium.
Don't forget the osmium. I have been informed. So
yeah, don't forget osmium. All right, densest stuff on the planet.
Yeah. For a while there, they thought iridium was. They're very, very close.
We could squeeze platinum and osmium real easily if we all went out and bought some.
If you have gold and silver combined, it would be electrum, as Chris already mentioned there. What's the primary use for osmium, Honey Bunny? I don't know.
There isn't one.
What particular use is it? Well, I'm afraid you're just going to have to, Shaggy. Oh, let me put this thing here.
Well, osmium's mildly toxic,
Yeah, this is April. Oh, that's a ridiculous.
Yeah, the thing must have fallen down again.
My goodness. Wow. Strangely enough, look at this. Here's April. The 5th, 6th, and 7th is Wednesday through Friday. And here's July. The 5th, 6th, and 7th is Wednesday through Friday.
And by the way, osmium is used in the tips of fountain pens, compasses, electrical contacts, and high-wear items, including instrument pivots. And osmium tetroxide is used to detect fingerprints and in electron microscopy
huh?
for staining fatty tissues. And
Okay.
yeah, this stuff is toxic, amongst other things. It's the rarest of the group. And it's pretty color in person.
Yeah.
Very pretty stuff.
Are you currently in a Vegas casino, Graham? That would be cool.
Oh, which one?
Evil wants to know which one. I don't do casinos. I don't do gambling like that. I never win anything. And I work too hard for my money to just throw it away. If I'm going to spend $20, I'm going to see an hour and a half movie, not spend 15 minutes at a slot machine. I can at least get some entertainment out of it. Or I can buy some hooks and sinkers and bait and go fishing, something like that.
I love casinos. Do they have all-you-can-eat buffets again, or did COVID kill those forever? That's the question.
So you're at the Golden Nugget, Graham? Oh, no, that's where the Hand of Faith is. Okay. Not Graham. It's the Nugget he was talking about. Evil wants to know, does anyone know if they still got the all-you-can-eat buffets in Vegas? I presume so.
Well, COVID killed them all. I wanted to know if they came back, because really, that's one of the best things about Vegas. That and the fun books.
Yeah, if you wanted to get a drink, that would work, Chris. David says, yep, they do.
Does
Does the
does the Holiday Inn that's by New York, still have the all-you-can-eat pancake breakfast for 99 cents though?
Probably not. Does the Holiday Inn near the New York, still have the all-you-can-eat pancake breakfast for 99 cents?
If not, you want to go to Circus for the breakfast buffet, and you want to go to Excalibur for the dinner buffet. In between, you get your snacks by going and getting the fun books from the What's On in Vegas magazine that you get at the visitor center. Everybody knows this. And by the way, they have a great marshmallow factory, a great natural history museum, and several breweries that you can go and take tours of for free samples if you like beer.
Okay.
Vegas is good.
Okay. Chris says Excalibur did have a pretty good spread the last time he was there.
Oh yeah,
I've been to
the King Arthur tournament's amazing too.
Yeah, I watched the tournament thingy there. That was pretty cool. It was a long time ago. Don't remember much about it except there were some horses involved and guys with steel
And you can eat
suits.
with your hands.
Yeah, probably. Anyhow. Yeah, honey bunny, that's kind of the way I look at it. At least this way I can control the odds to some extent.
You just don't know how to deal with casinos, that's all.
Oh, I heard a good one today, little one.
Mm-hmm.
George downstairs said that the doctor was discussing his condition and what he had done that got him there, whatever. And he said, she told me to go to hell so nicely that I was looking forward to the trip. That's pretty fun. I thought that was pretty hilarious.
I don't even want to know the context, do I?
No, it's just his recent surgery. But yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. Oh, that's right. I got physical therapy in the morning too. Why does it keep changing? Come on. Yeah, it's all torn. That's what I thought. Why do they not make calendars with holes farther from the edges?
I do not know, and it's partially my fault because I keep meaning to bring my little reinforcement circles
Yeah.
from the lab so that when we buy a new calendar, I can put the reinforcements on the holes before we use it. They used to put them further from the thing, and I remember when they actually used to have a little extra cardboard around them, you know?
Yeah, I don't know what my physical therapist would think of the work I do, but I will say this also. If it wasn't for the work I've been helping Lauren out with this spring, I would not have been in nearly the shape